You're listening to the No Gimmicks Needed Rewind. Right here on the No Gimmicks Needed Rewind, we going back in the day of the Nerd Coalition's wrestling podcast and getting all the segments that you guys missed that did not carry over to Nerd Coalition Studios. So if you guys like things from the original podcast, make sure you stay tuned right here every single week on YouTube and listen to the Rewind. Now let's see what we have for you in store today. It's that one night a year where WWE celebrates its legends. And you know what? There have been some weak classes. There have been some weak ceremonies where people just be so long-winded. But tonight was truly special. What's going on, YouTube? It's NC, the place to be. We're trying to stay D, back to give you a review of the Hall of Fame 2017. It's WrestleMania weekend, so I'm going over all the things WrestleMania. So, joining me is not Deion Sanders, but Primetime.
It's true. It's true.
No, it's true. It's damn true.
So he said it's true. It's real. He said he had a lot of catchphrases.
Yeah. So we are here now at the Hall of Fame ceremony of 2017, and I have to say this has been a very steady class. Kurt Angle is the headliner. Rock and Roll Express. I keep saying Midnight. Rock and Roll Express. Teddy Long, one of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time, Beth Phoenix. One of my all-time favorite heel wrestlers, Rick Rude, and Eric LeGrand getting the Warrior Award, and of course, one of my WCW guys. It's me, it's DDP. So the night starts off, and just like they got right to the point, we gonna get right to the point. Jerry Lawler comes out, and we get a little DDP package. And after the DDP package,
I'm back. Oh.
Eric Bischoff music plays, and I'm better than ever. And so he comes out, and he talks about him being DDP. He makes a analogy about the human heart pumping. You know how Eric Bischoff goes off the rails sometimes like that. And he tries to make an analogy of how DDP was 6'5" and shredded, and he was a manager, somebody that was a lot smaller than him. So he said, so can you imagine Paul Heyman, 6'11", 300 pounds shredded muscle, managing Brock Lesnar? And I was just like, ha. It kind of went like that. It wasn't nothing that really went over. But
I like the nod, though.
Say what?
I like the nod that he gave to Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, yes. I love the nod he gave to Dusty Rhodes because I said to Lady Sketch when DDP first got inducted, I said it sucks because Dusty Rhodes ain't here. And if Dusty Rhodes was here, he would have got Dusty Rhodes to induct him in the Hall of Fame. If not Dusty Rhodes, probably Karl Malone.
Karl Malone's like a caveman now. He probably don't even know what the Hall of Fame is in WWE.
He don't. But that does suck. But, you know, he gave a shot. He said, I wish Dusty Rhodes was here, but I'm glad that I'm honored to be the one inducting DDP. He has a lot of heart with the DDP yoga, and DDP comes out, and he comes out with his beautiful 4 daughters. I didn't know he had 4 daughters.
Speaking of DDP yoga, real quick plug.
Yeah.
Well, not a quick plug, really. Just, you know, he did yoga today on the big stage. It was a good moment.
I heard he did that at Access, right?
Yeah.
Did you go?
That must have been good for him. I ain't go to Access today.
What?
Must have been a big moment. I was at WCBW, remember?
Man, you need to go DDP yoga. But
that was nice. A lot of superstars was in it, which was a good moment. I'm pretty sure this weekend is all good for him.
Yeah. DDP talks about Dusty Rhodes getting him into business, and he lets him know that he was there to vent for him all the time. And he said, Dusty, I don't know if I can win a championship. And he said, you can see yourself as a champion, then what are you here for? And he motivated DDP, and it got really emotional. And I always love the story where he talks about the Macho Man calling him on Thanksgiving and said, I am very grateful for you taking the diamond cutter and making my career, because if there was no diamond cutter, there's no DDP. And then Macho Man says, I got your message. I listened to it a couple times, man. That's the nicest thing any boy said to me. He said, I went back to my dad. I said, Dad, did any of the boys do this for you? And he said no. And I love every time he tells that story. It's just so great, so emotional. DDP is one of my favorites, and he tells great stories. And he knows how to. And he's an overly positive guy. Like Mick Foley once said, DDP is annoyingly positive.
Yeah.
So, but DDP was in the Hall of Fame. What's your thoughts on the opening induction speech?
I just want to say, at Access, there is this certain jacket, and it belonged to Dusty Rhodes, that the man said. He said it was Dusty Rhodes' jacket, and it was Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair. They were, I guess, trying to one-up each other, so they bought the same jacket. Ric Flair had his name on the jacket, and he had his name on the outside. Dusty Rhodes put his name on the inside, and it was so special to Dusty. I guess he passed it on to DDP, and then DDP put his name on the inside, and now I'm pretty sure that's one of his memories that he got from Dusty.
Oh, that's
as
so
a prize
great.
member.
That's so great, man. Look, I swear the heavens were shining. I mean, minus what Jim Cornette thinks, but hey. So, and speaking of Jim Cornette, coming up next is Jim Cornette to induct the Rock and Roll Express into the Hall of Fame. And Jim Cornette says, all right, well, here we go. We got Jim Cornette and a live microphone. Everybody's wanting to know if it's going to be the under and over on Sunday. And he said, well, I'm sorry, I have to go, cut back, go a little under. So that means we're going to be here till Saturday night. So, I thought he was funny. He did a great job putting over the Rock and Roll Express. Jim Cornette came there, did his job, and left. That's what I wanted from Jim Cornette.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go over. Even though he was like, I got a live microphone and the audio guy's on Xanax.
Xanax.
Like, what?
And I honestly, it is funny listening to Jim Cornette rant and talk about shit that he don't like. But honestly, I'm really glad he finally got professional and actually took the time to give the Rock and Roll Express, because he was the manager of the Midnight Express, and they had a rivalry kind of like the Freebirds and the Von Erichs. So I'm really happy that Jim Cornette did that, kept it to there. Rock and Roll Express come out. I'm a fan of Rock and Roll Express, obviously, and I love how
old are these guys?
How old are they?
Yeah, like what age range?
Like their 60s.
And they still got long hair like that?
Yep. Because he said, hey, Ricky Bobby is not the Gene Simmons of wrestling. Gene Simmons is the Ricky Bobby of music. I was like, oh, I'm loving them, because that's what they were. And they once again came out there. I swear it felt like a Source Awards, because everybody came out there and thanked God first, then their mama. So I thought it was a rap award.
I don't know. Did they really like lose their place on where they was at, or were they just playing? Because they were reading the paper.
They were playing reading the paper. But it was a very touching moment when Ricky Bobby looked over and said, "You know what? You have been I have 4 brothers, but I have 5 by heart, and you have always been a brother to me." I love that moment. He tried to get him to cry, almost did, but it was great.
Yeah, and then the last moment where they were grabbing each other's hands, it looked like he ain't trying to cry. He was trying to turn away from the camera so they wouldn't see him cry. Exactly.
Your thoughts on the Rock and Roll Express?
I enjoyed the speech. It didn't go over too long. It was entertaining. It was kind of easy to follow all the story and the things that they were saying. The part where he was like, I got 7 grandkids, and then the other one was like, well, they all look like me. that one was funny.
I did that one over some people's heads. I'm like, it didn't go over mine.
The headband. See, I was like, when they put out the headbands, nobody was cheering. I was like, okay, well, apparently I'm guessing the headbands mean something. I don't even know. And yeah, I wasn't even around, and I know that means something.
Yeah, that was their trademark. The headbands, kind of like how the Freebirds had the Freebird, the whole USA.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even knew the headbands mean so. When you pull it out like that and then flap it out, of course it means something.
Exactly. So, next up we have, you want to talk about some heel heat? You want to talk about, you going to a wrestling event and you bring your wife with you, and next thing you know, she's on somebody's tights right there, her mouth right there where the dick is at. Rick Rude. And, you know, Rick Rude, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, has passed away. So he's not living no more. But he does have Ricky Steamboat to come out there. And Ricky Steamboat looks like, I don't know if he was getting emotional, or if he lost his place, or if he was just taking breaks and trying to see if people want to cheer or not. But he talked about how strong Rick Rude was, how he would do 80 pounds on his forearm like Popeye, and then how he would sit there and curl like 300 pounds on a set machine, and how he suplexed him on top of a steel cage and he'd hook his legs around.
Story.
Huh?
That was my favorite story when he said he suplexed him on the cage and then he did sit-ups.
Yeah.
I looked for that video all day and couldn't find
it. And he was just like, "Hey man, maybe at a house show, because you know that's the stuff you kind of do at a house show."
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and then so.
I like the other story too, where he said he knows the story. Like he said, he worked on his ribs.
Yeah.
And then later in the show, he'll go to do Rick Rude, and then yeah, that was a good story.
I agree. So his son and his two, was that his mother and his sister that came out, or his two sisters? Okay.
His mother and his sister.
And his son tall as shit.
Yeah, I was like, is he just tall or are they just short?
Yeah, like Rick Rude's son is like gigantic, and
get this man a contract in the WWE.
He says
he could be Tommy Rude or something. I don't know.
I guess, but he said that Rick Rude versus Bobby Roode. I would love it. I would love it. Make that dream match happen. So Rick Rude,
ravishing or glorious?
Yeah, exactly. I'll go with ravishing. I'm sorry, but. He says, I'm gonna talk to you about the man, and he loved fishing. He did everything he could for his family. You know, he was a Christ-loving man, because if anybody heard that story about when Stone Cold kept saying, "God damn," and Rick Rude said, "Stop using the Lord's name in vain." That's funny. I remember that. I remember that story. That Paul Heyman said that. I think was that on the Stone Cold podcast.
Probably.
Yeah.
When he had him on there for the network.
Yeah. So, it was great hearing about the man. I did not know that he had another brother that passed away. He looked very young. So I'm like, I don't know what happened to him. I was trying to figure out what happened to the other Rude kid. And so it was very touching.
When he actually did his catchphrase though.
Oh yeah, he said So if my dad was here, he said, "I need for all you Orlando, Florida, sweat hogs to keep the noise down." So he have all these things to see what a real man looks like. And the only thing I did not like about this, though, they did not use Rick Rude's original 80s talk show theme music. It was more something kind of modified, and I didn't like it too much. But other than that, how'd you like it?
I loved it. The speech was good. The speech was great. I'm surprised, like, when's the last time somebody accepted an award for somebody that's passed away got a good speech? I mean, the Big Boss Man, they did okay.
Yeah.
I like Randy, not Randy. What's the brother name?
Larry Pavo.
Yeah, Larry. I like his.
Well,
see, like, for something.
I was indifferent to that because Larry was too busy just trying, like, Macho Man never did anything wrong in his eyes.
Well,
and he played favoritism to a T, and I was just like, all right, like, there's one thing of putting your brother over, there's one thing like you drew.
I mean, no, I'm just saying from somebody not even being a wrestler to coming out in this crowd, and you saying a lot of people, just like you said with the other dude, Eric LeGrand, it's something like that. Many people can't really like just come out and do it.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. Next up is Beth Phoenix getting inducted by Natalya.
I thought Aaron LeGrand was before Beth Phoenix.
No, he was after.
Hey, they made him follow that?
No. Well, Natalya said that this all started with Mark Henry. And when I came in there, he said, you know what? You remind me a lot of Beth Phoenix. And she had a big old smile. He didn't even say hello to me. And the first thing I said was, well, who the hell is Beth Phoenix? And when they show a picture of them side by side, they do kind of look like sisters or twins a little bit.
They do.
Same body type and everything. And they both can sell great too. But I would have more fun with Beth Phoenix. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Especially since she been off.
She put over Beth Phoenix and how beautiful she was, how strong she was, how she could bench press 220 pounds, and that's a lot for a woman. That's a lot, period.
The Carmella comment wasn't necessary, though.
That was funny.
That's 2 Carmellas. And Cash just looking at her like, what's funny?
Exactly, yeah. So,
I bet 2 Carmellas all the time. How you doing?
Yes. That was a good one. That was a good one. So Beth Phoenix comes out and talks about how much she was a wrestling fan these whole years, how she had the Stone Cold picture on her college dorm.
Was that the picture of the Stone Cold photo in the background?
Yeah.
That was not 6 feet. She said she had a 6 foot poster.
Yeah, it was 6 foot, about 6 inches.
Yeah. And she looked different with red hair.
She did. But Beth Phoenix, when you talk about getting her start, she thanks the ladies that she deserves, like Eve Torres, who was there.
Thanks everybody.
Candice Michelle, who was there. She said Candice Michelle is actually some of the reasons that Beth Phoenix is Beth Phoenix. I said, oh my God, you're giving Candice Michelle a shout out. Go ahead, Beth.
Let me show you what love is.
Mm-hmm. Molly Holly, who should have been in the Hall of Fame by now. Hope she gets in next year.
Yep. Wait, I'm sorry. Now, I know these people, but I don't. Molly Holly was the one that they were showing that paid her tuition, right? What was that?
Yeah, I believe so. Cause Molly Holly's the one with the short, I hate to say it, lesbian haircut.
With the yeah, okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
I just had to make sure I was talking about the same person. I didn't want to be like Irene or Ivory or somebody.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. So then, of course, everybody was waiting for her to thank Edge. They started chanting Edge, 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 Edge. So she finally got to her husband Adam.
Oh my gosh!
She
thanks. First she called him Adam like we weren't gonna know who he was.
Exactly, and then she said, "You may know him as Edge." And then we hear, hold on.
Yo,
Tony Chimel comes out.
I just want to say, what he said when he said, "Whoa," I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" Then when he said something, he said like 2 things you can hear his accent. Like, wait a minute, somewhere you can hear his accent. I was like, oh wait, is that Tony Chimel? And he came out, everybody went crazy. They already knew.
Because Tony Chimel was the only one that announces the Edges thing.
The only one.
The only one. He said, you know him as the 11-time world champion, the Radar Superstar.
And Edge did it with him. Edge did it with him.
Yeah.
He already knew it. Edge just like the Radar Superstar.
You know how certain people announce people a certain way, and you have to get them kind of like when a birthday dog goes in the Hall of Fame. It gotta be what was his ring announcer?
Ricardo Rodriguez.
Yeah, Ricardo Rodriguez. That we're gonna Leo. Like you gotta have that.
When The Rock go in the Hall of Fame, he gotta get Howard Finkel to do The Rock.
Exactly.
Like, how he do it with his voice, I don't know how he do it.
If Mr. Anderson ever comes back and goes into the Hall of Fame, he has to do it himself. I hail from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Mr.
Canada.
Wait for it.
Wait. Come on now.
Canada. So, yeah.
Yo, that was like one of my favorite parts of her speech, that Edge part.
Exactly.
How you gonna put your own husband over on your thing.
Exactly.
They didn't even do that for his.
They put him over. That was like, that was hot. That was hot. So she thanks Edge, and she said that they such wrestling nerds that when they got married, Edge said, "If we smell like smoke, it's because we've been through fire." And she says, "No, if you smell like smoke, that means because you just speared before we do a flaming table." I was like, oh my god, I would love to have a wrestling nerd like that. But
by the way, I just say they were at the show, the NXT show.
They were. They showed them on TV.
Yeah, before I got here, I was watching an interview, and it was like Aaron just like every room he goes in, he has to have his music playing. And he do his interest in every room he go in his house. that is amazing. He was like he make fireworks. He make the smoke. Yeah, like he coming through the smoke. He do his hands up.
Yeah, you know what? Edge is
That's
great.
great.
Next up, we have Dana Warrior presenting the Warrior Award to Eric LeGrand.
That's not Dana Warrior. You know that's Summer Gray. Yeah. I mean Summer Rae in disguise.
That's Summer Rae mama. So, I think. Well, first off, me and you both love Beth Phoenix induction, so we can agree on that.
Yes.
So she's out there to present the award for Eric LeGrand. For people who don't know, Eric LeGrand was a college football player who got paralyzed from the neck down, but he could start moving things, his arms and his chest and everything, and post his legs. So he's going to try to do his best to walk again, and the man is very, very inspirational. So Dana Warrior comes out, and you could tell she's more comfortable now with the WWE locker room and stuff like that, because she made that.
Of course.
She made that joke to Sheamus, saying, we have these warriors that go out there and fight with metal ladders. How the stitches there, fella? And I was just like, oh no,
oh, man.
You ain't come at Sheamus like that. But it's all good. Sheamus gonna kick ass tomorrow, though.
I mean, he gonna be kicking on the pre-show. No, never mind. That ladder match is the only reason.
Yeah, exactly. He said, "Saved by the ladders." You know what I'm saying? So, she presents it to Eric LeGrand, and you know what? At first, you can tell Eric LeGrand was very, very nervous.
Yeah,
but
that was noticeable.
Yeah, but when I was listening to it more, I was just like, he was nervous because he was an actual WWE wrestling fan, and I don't mean the kind of fans that that you have celebrities that come out there and be like, yeah, I used to watch wrestling back in the day, and they just say maybe one popular name that everybody in the world knows that doesn't even need to watch wrestling just to say they're a fan. Yeah. No, he's a fan because he talks about things that fans know about.
But before we get into this, I just want to say, I think they darnest to do whatever they can to get a woo out of everybody, because it seems like every single person mentioned Ric Flair more than once.
Oh my God, Ric Flair was so full of himself because he got that fucking statue.
It was like, Ric Flair, woo! Or this man named Ric Flair, woo! It was like, okay, all right. I'm tired of wooing. I was tired of wooing by the end of the night.
Exactly. So, I thought that was, annoying. But, saying a lot of woos. Eric LeGrand, he was just talking about how he used to play Smackdown versus Raw. I'm like, whoa. Okay, he took it back. He talked about how he used to love Stone Cold and how Stone Cold drove
that moment though.
Yes, in the alliance where he came up with that crowbar and kicked everybody's ass.
Stuttering everybody down freaking walks. Yes. I don't even know what he was. I had to make that up on the spot.
I'm gonna turn his head ever so slightly, drop him down that stack of dimes he calls a neck.
I beat him twice on Sunday.
And so he was talking about things that he loved about wrestling and all the moments and how he loved Kane and all this stuff like that. So stuff that true wrestling fans go through. And I'm like, I can see why he's... I'm
surprised he said Kane.
Yeah, I was like, somebody to put Kane over.
No, I'm saying I'm surprised he said Kane as for liking him. Usually kids think Kane at that age or at that time was scary.
Exactly. So it made sense why he was nervous, because he was out there looking at all his favorite superstars as he watched them and getting this award. But it was a very beautiful award. I hope he does walk in. I think, I want to support and put money in there, because usually I don't put money. I'll be honest, I don't put money in the charities, because I don't. Sometimes I feel that the charities try to get over and they don't actually give the money to where it's supposed to be. Some those greedy people pocket it, but
yeah, I mean, some charities are like the church building fund.
Who you telling? So who are you telling? So after Eric LeGrand, we get the APA that's going to induct Holla player Teddy Long. And they talk about it. JBL puts him over, because JBL is one of the best in the business at putting people over when it comes to his words.
JBL was actually funny though.
Oh yeah, but he was funny. Just like I will never forget when he inducted Ron Simmons. That man put Ron Simmons over. I was like, damn. After JBL was done talking, I'm surprised. Why is he not in the Hall of Fame before day? And then he said,
and then he got serious in it too.
Exactly. He said, he talked about Teddy Long during the Civil Rights Movement down in Birmingham, Alabama. Ron Simmons talked about he got pulled over driving while black. Everybody was just like, "Uh-oh, where's this going?" I heard all y'all say, "Ooh."
Yeah, I was like, JBL. Okay. They gonna let JBL lead this?
You got the black people get a little nervous.
But it went in the right place.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we in Orlando. So then he brings out the cheapest man on the planet, Teddy Long. And Teddy,
that suit.
That suit jacket. He comes out there, does his little, Teddy dance, and then he acts like his back is hurt. He's like, "Gotcha!" And it goes back to doing it. And then he comes on there and he talks about it. He said, "Look, I'm not like one of these long-winded guys, so I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna say what I have to say and tell you a little bit about myself. Can you dig it?" So
say holla, holla, holla.
He said, if you love Teddy Long, let me get a holla, holla, holla. And he also said Teddy.
So accurate.
Exactly. He started chanting Teddy, Hitler, and not Teddy Pendergrass. He goes over.
If they ever make a video on Teddy life, you know who got to play him.
Oh, exactly. His damn son, because his son looked just like his motherfucking ass. He does.
Just put glasses on him.
I know.
They can pass.
He talked about how he used to, set up the ring, and how he went around there. He was the referee, and then the first match he ever had was a Texas death match, and I left the ring because I was scared.
He didn't know what to do.
He didn't know what to do. And,
that could be terrifying, though. Your first match refereeing, and you in a Texas death match.
Exactly. So then he talked about the sort of people that he managed with Mark Henry and Rodney Mack with the White Boy Challenge, and I did not forgot he managed Mark Jindrak. I forgot all about Mark Jindrak.
The one I remember the most is Mark Henry, of course.
Yes, I was just like, and he said Vince said he can talk, so he gave me the general manager job, and I had to go out there and impress the McMahon family, and he went out there and he did what he had to do.
I just remember it, the promo package, man. Oh man,
yeah,
they made this man a tag team. Yeah. On that promo package,
I was like, he said we're gonna make this a tag team, a 6-man, an 8-man, a 10-man, a 20-man tag team match.
I didn't never know he made one with that many people. I was like, oh my gosh.
And then so at the end, he told the real story about what happened between Ron Simmons and Bradshaw at the back, and when they got pulled over by the cops, and then he said, "Well, if they don't like that, then I'm gonna put the APA in a tag team match." But then, of course, Ron is going to be in the back talking about something. He's retired, so Bradshaw, I'm gonna have to put you 1-on-1 with the Undertaker. So, it was great. Everybody started laughing because those are some old Smackdown memories that they liked, and I'm glad Teddy Long got the induction he deserved. It was great. Prato, your thoughts on Teddy Long's 8-man, 6-man, 10-man, 20-man tag team?
Well, since when would 10, 20 men ever outside the ring needed differences settled when Teddy Long come out there? He say, "Well, player, we'll make this a 20-man tag team match. Holla, holla."
Damn.
Like, I mean, like, you know how full the ring had to be? Like, why weren't they already fighting? Like, y'all waited Teddy Long tell y'all to fight to start fighting? Okay.
Oh shit!
I might have to go back and look at that match.
So how'd you enjoy
which one it was? But yeah, I enjoyed his speech. It was very fun. It was funny. He had a lot of jokes in it. He told stories about his life. I was like, okay, that's entertaining. And what you say?
When is JBL get into the Hall of Fame? Because I want to hear what Ron Simmons got to say about him.
I don't know. I mean, me personally, I think he could have went down there any time after WrestleMania 26 because he retired in 25. So
I think he should have went when they was in Texas last year, but he didn't.
Yeah, but he wanted to do Stan Hansen, so I can understand.
But Vader did it.
Oh my bad.
Yeah.
He always mentioned Stan Hansen. So.
Yeah.
They had to get one Texas dude. So.
Exactly. So time for the main event. It's time for intensity, integrity, intelligence, and inductee. And the sad thing is, Lady Sketch had called me telling me her flight information for when she's coming in. So I had to go handle that. So I missed the majority of the John Cena induction speech. How was it?
I mean, it was good. He said, first of all, he got booed.
Well, I did see what he got to John Cena, and people was like, Miz.
Yeah, Miz, yeah.
Oh, so he's getting squashed.
So
he's getting squashed on Sunday.
I just want to say, John Cena sucks is gonna be like the new You Suck for Kurt Angle. Because in the future, even when he's retired, he come back to that song, they're gonna still say John Cena sucks.
You're right.
Like I didn't even really care. It was just fun to do. Like you did it live, right? And isn't it fun to do?
Oh, it is fun to do. It is fun to do. But yeah, it's not fun when they say it to Kurt Angle though, because I don't ever say it when Kurt Angle come out.
Well, some people say
that man.
That's a form of respect now.
So
it's like everybody knows that's a form of respect. Angle knows that's a form of respect.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Vince probably like, oh my gosh, they changed You Suck. He's like, no, it's okay. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. So I didn't see John Cena's, but Kurt Angle comes out and
you didn't miss that, by the way. He just basically said that he didn't even say it with a broken freaking neck. He just said, and the dude won the medal with a broken neck.
Oh no, you gotta say broken freaking neck. Even Kurt Angle came out there and said, "Hey, I won the Olympic gold with a broken freaking neck." Okay, had the people say it, but Kurt Angle comes out there and he does something completely different that I was not expecting my favorite wrestler of all time to do. And after
I loved his whole speech.
After he did this, I was like, "This is why you're my favorite wrestler of all fucking time," because Kurt Angle comes up and he says, I joined WWE and he was the wrestling machine. Everybody was trying to wrestle, but he didn't mind embarrassing himself. So I have a message to all the guys out there today. Put work into your characters. Don't worry about trying to overdo these matches because your matches are fine. Your matches are great because you don't want to end up killing yourself. Because but work on your character. He does take the people he had those great matches with: Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Stone Cold, The Undertaker, and that crazy son of a bitch, Shane McMahon. He said, "I can't wait to see you at AJ's match on Sunday." And AJ is selling the heel in the audience like, y'all don't get it. If he gets counted out, he's going to lose.
By the way, they had a face-off at the Hall of Fame. They was eye to eye, like they was arguing with each other.
Oh.
And then, AJ being the heel, he just went to go sit down. He was like, forget this.
Yeah, I'm just, I will say this. AJ has given good heel work because every time they talk about it, AJ's like, he can do whatever he wants, but if you don't get back in that ring after a 10 count, he's losing the match. So I'm really curious because there has to be a reason why they keep making AJ say it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But once again, so Kurt Angle says to the different moments of when he embarrassed himself. So he talked about, which I loved. He talks about the little cowboy hat, which actually the cowboy hat he wore was not little enough.
Yeah, that's not the one.
That's not the real one, but it was a small. He talked about that one, and then he talks about. He said, "Remember when I had the hair?" And he comes out and he has the hair and he has the wrestling helmet on from Foxcatcher and says, "Can you imagine that I made the immortal Hulk Hogan tap out wearing this?" And he did. And then he said, "Remember when I tried to battle rap John Cena?" And I was just like,
I was surprised they ain't had a referee come back and just do that beatboxing, but he's in TNA now. So.
Exactly. So he said, "Give me a little clap." So they gave him a little clap, and he did like one verse from it. I thought he was going to sing his joint like, "I don't suck."
Oh yeah, I thought he was going to. No, he needed the music for that one.
He did need the music for that because there was something else he needed the music for too. And he said, "Do y'all remember Sexy Kurt?" Yes. I remember Sexy Kurt like everybody else. Even when Shawn Michaels' induction said, he said, "How can you forget about Sexy Kurt?"
Yes.
And so he said, "Give me a clap." And that's the only thing I wasn't saying I was mad at. I was disappointed in because I was just like, I wanted him to be like.
Yeah, he should have had the music. He should have had the music.
Come on, this WWE. They have all kind of music with words and without the words. He could have been like, "I think I'm cute. I got gold medals."
By the way, I don't know if y'all heard it, but they was doing the background like it was like, "I think I'm cute." Da, 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 oh, sexy. Da. I mean, oh, that wasn't even words. Kurt. That's the original words. But
I got gold medals. Yeah,
they were just going, makes them all tap out, angle slam. Yeah, we're just going all over. And then when he actually said it.
Oh, it was great. I'm just a sexy Kurt. He's like, "Sexy Kurt."
Yeah, like when he actually said it, everybody got excited when they was saying it. It was.
Hey, Kurt Angle was sitting there dancing. He did a terrible spin and everything. It was just like,
no. What made me laugh is how he set it up. He was clapping, and then when they was clapping, he was like, "Okay, oh no, wait, I messed up again. No, I can't. Okay, all right, here we go. Yeah, okay, I got it now."
He was so out of rhythm. It was perfect. But that's what I love about Kurt Angle because he doesn't have a problem making fun of himself. So
and then I really thought he was like, and then there's Milkomania.
Yeah,
I didn't know what was about to happen.
He said, "Now, come on, guys. I'm not about to bring a milk truck out here." But
I didn't know what was going to happen.
He brings out 2 gallons. It's like these 2 big jugs of milk, and he says, to the 2017 class of Hall of Fame, basically, thank you and good night. And he does drink all the milk like he did back in the day, and that shit. And I'm just like, oh my god, that tux! It's all in your tux, Kurt. That was a nice tux. You milking it all up.
I'm pretty sure he gonna have something different. And if he had the same tux, he might have the same tux, but you gonna see the white stains on it. You gonna be like, "Yep."
I did that.
It's true.
But you know what? It was great though because I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he went out that way. It wasn't so serious. It wasn't so depressing. It was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm known because it's like I got to get the casual fans to know who I am, and they don't care about me being the wrestling machine. They care about what the character Kurt Angle was. So I'm just like, that was perfect.
They care about the videos on YouTube that they see.
But if you think about it though, when the casual fan looks at that speech, right, and all the stuff he's talking about, they're going to go on YouTube and look for that kind of stuff. They're not going to look at the match he had with Shawn Michaels. They're going to look at Sexy Kurt.
Yeah.
And when they see it, it's going to be like, okay, then I want to find out matches and rivalries and stuff like that. So I thought that was a good way for him to get introduced to the casual viewer. So overall,
what is your favorite part
of the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Kurt Angle, because I'm biased.
Okay.
Kurt Angle, because I'm biased, and DDP at the beginning. It started phenomenal. It ended phenomenal, and I thought I had a great part. But Tony Chimmel is probably one of my favorite parts. Yeah. Tony Chimmel is one of my favorite parts. Putting JBL against the Undertaker is one of my favorite parts.
A tag team match, player.
Yeah.
Hello.
And Rick Rude's son talk about the sweat hogs.
I think if I had to pick for my favorites, I picked out the Kurt Angle, the whole speech, but I picked mostly the Sexy Kurt part.
Yeah.
And I picked the Edge part.
Yes.
because that just made me mark out.
Exactly.
And when you take somebody, like I told my uncle, you take somebody that don't know, and they looking at me like I'm crazy, like what was about to happen, what's going on, and then the whole crowd do it. It's a good moment.
It is a great moment.
Because it's like you introducing somebody, and they like, well, that was kind of cool.
Exactly. So the Hall of Fame was great. It started off the weekend perfect. I can't wait for Sunday. Can't wait for Saturday. All that great stuff. So once again, guys, like, subscribe, and share. Hit that subscribe button for all WrestleMania things. It's going to be a WrestleMania video thing on Sunday. So if you're expecting anything else, I'm sorry, I got to wait till Monday on that one. You're getting something all the way up until 5 o'clock. Maybe a little bit after, but mostly 5 o'clock because everybody's going to be watching WrestleMania and the kickoff. So make sure you stay tuned for all that stuff. So once again, this is NC and the place to be. Channel 20, Mr. A&E, and not Deion Sanders, but Primetime.
The Rated R
Superstar. And the Nerd Coalition is out.
Yo, now everybody come and gather round. It's time to take a listen. Swag on Zero A&E, it's the coalition. We talking comics, both Marvel and DC, the factory addicts and the WWE. Anime too, what a surprise. If you digging what I'm saying, go and like and subscribe. It's the coalition.